Yeah, very good afternoon to all. I am Professor Anuradha Jain. Today I will be discussing with you about demand for money and supply for money. Why do we demand money? What is the supply? What are the components of supply of money? And you know that in the earlier times, money was not used as a medium of exchange, and there was barter system, and there were various problems of barter system. And later on, money was introduced in the system, and which facilitated exchange and medium of exchange. The exchange became easy with the introduction of money, and all the problems that people used to face during the barter system were eliminated with the introduction of money. So today in this topic we are going to discuss about supply of money and demand for money. So money supply, if we see, then how do we define money supply? So it refers to the amount of money which is in circulation in an economy at a given point of time. So money supply plays a crucial role in the determination of price level of the commodities and the interest rate, which is known as the cost of money or price for money. So growth of money supply helps in acceleration of economic development and price stability. And there must be a control expansion of money supply, that is no inflation or deflation in the economy should be there. And through control of money supply, we will be able to control even prices in the economy. So RBI has this instrument in their hand, that by changing the supply of money, they are able to control inflation in the economy or deflation in the economy. So supply of money is a stock concept, and it is known as a stock of money held by the people, or maybe household, firms, institutions, government, etc. So if the total sum of money available in the public, in the economy at a point of time, it includes money held by the public and in circulation, but it does not include money held by the central bank or commercial bank, as they are money creating agency, because they create money, they create credit. The separation of producer of money from the user of money is important from the viewpoint of from monetary policy and the other policies. And it composed of two elements: currency with public, that is high powered money; currency notes in circulations, that is issued by the Reserve Bank of India; the number of rupee notes and coins in circulation, and small coins also in the circulation. Then the demand deposits with public, which is secondary money, deposit of the public with the bank money, that is demand deposits and time deposits. Now what are the constituents of money supply? So mainly money supply has two definitions when we calculate. One is like through traditional approach, which has narrow money, and modern approach, which is known as the broad money concept, because they include many other factors or many other components which were not earlier included in the traditional approach. Then modern approach has money, that is coin, currency, demand deposits, time deposits, and also the near money, which can be considered as money, not money but same as cash. Now if we talk about traditional approach, then the definition, which was known as the M1 definition, and it composed of two elements: currency with the public, that is high powered money. So that includes currency in the circulation issued by the Reserve Bank of India, then number of rupee notes, and coins in circulation, small coins in circulation, and demand deposits with the public, that is demand deposits and time deposits. So it includes those items which can be spent immediately or readily acceptable as a medium of exchange. So money that can be spent directly, such as cash and current account in bank, comes under the traditional approach. And formula wise, you can say that M1 is equal to C plus D plus OD. So what is C here? C is the currency with the public, D stands for demand deposits with the public, that may be with the commercial bank or cooperative banks, and OD means other deposits held by the public or the Reserve Bank. And time deposits are excluded from it, as it's not possible to draw, a check against them. But modern approach, if you say, then it includes like coins, currency with public, okay, demand deposits with public, time deposits with bank, financial assets, treasury bills, exchange bills, bonds, equities, everything is included in the modern definition. So modern view extends the phenomena of money to the whole spectrum of liquidity in the assets portfolio of individuals in the modern economy. Now, how do we measure this money supply? So, measurement, if you see, that it is classified into various measures, like on the basis of its function, is that effective, predictions can be made about the likely effects on the economy or changes in the different components of money supply. So, RBI has adopted 4 concepts of money supply. First, M0, that means currency in circulation and in bank vaults, and it called as the monetary base, the base from which other forms of money are created. Then a measure of the money supply which combines any liquid or cash assets held within a central bank and the amount of physical currency circulating in the economy. Then M1, that is narrow money. M1 is equal to C plus D plus OD, that I have already discussed. That means currency with the public, demand deposits and other deposits with the public. Then there is another definition, that is M2. M2 is M1 plus saving deposits with the post office saving. M1 means the currency, demand deposits, other deposits, and plus they have added here that saving deposits with the post office saving banks. And the small saving deposits are not as liquid as demand deposits, but are more liquid than the time deposits. Then there was a broad definition, M3, and M3 includes M1 plus time deposits with the bank. Okay, because they thought that time deposit are also should be the part of the money supply. So in the broad definition, they included time deposits. Then came the broader definition, that is M4. So M4 is M3 plus total post office deposits. So that means that includes all type of deposits, savings, time deposits of the public, and also with the post office. Now, if we talk about monetary aggregates, that new series. So under the working group on money supply, the RBI has revised monetary data since 1992, and then 1999 and started publishing the new monetary aggregates, namely M1, M2, M3, etc., based on the residency concept. So monetary aggregates, the new series, clearly distinguish monetary aggregates and the liquidity aggregates. Okay, so this new series has come out with the all broader concept of money supply. So money supply is very important part of any monetary policy decisions, and through the control of the money supply, they control the economy, they control inflation, they control all the problems of the economy, because with the RBI, the main factor or main instrument that they have is the supply of money, because they are the one who issue currency, who print notes, and who can control the money supply in the economy. Okay, then there is a concept which you should know as money multiplier. So what is money multiplier? It is a degree to which money supply is expanded as a result of the increase in the high powered money. So money supply M is equal to HM. Okay, so money supply will increase when the supply of high powered money, that is H, increases, when currency deposit ratio of the public decreases, or CRR also falls, CRR that is cash reserve ratio. Now what are the factors that determine money supply? So main is the monetary base. Okay, so how much is the money supply in the economy, that is the main factor. Then bank credit to the government, bank credit to the commercial bank, because they create credit. It depends upon the CRR rate. Okay, how much they can give loan, what is the CRR rate. So that also decides the supply of money in the economy. Then community choice, that means they keep cash with them, or they issue more check, they use more bank money. Then changes in the net foreign exchange assets, government currency liabilities to the public, velocity of circulation of money. So these are the main components which determines the money supply of the economy. Then next is the velocity of circulation of money. Now to find out the supply of money over a period of time, we have to consider the velocity of circulation of money. So it's the average number of time money circulates or money changes hands. Okay, so that is the velocity of money, and the supply of money also depends upon the velocity of money. So that was the brief about the supply of money. Now next comes is the demand for money. Okay, money is demanded. Why? Because money serves the purpose of medium of exchange, store of value, and all of us demand money. And demand for money approach, if we see, or the why we demand money, then there are two approach. One is the classical approach, and classical economists used to define like why we demand money. Then another approach is the Keynesian approach. Okay, and Keynesian's theory is also known as liquidity preference theory. So quickly, if we see the classical approach, then classical economists considered money as simply a means of payment or medium of exchange. People are interested in purchasing power of their money holdings. So therefore, the basic function according to classical economists was the medium of exchange. Now there is one theory given by Fisher's and Fisher's transaction approach. So money as a medium or means of buying goods and services. Amount of money people have to hold to undertake a given volume of transaction over a period of time. So demand for money is determined by Fisher as MV is equal to PT. So it depends like volume of transaction, average price level per unit of transaction, velocity of circulation of money. Then it came like Cambridge cash balance approach. The approach stressed on money as a store of value or wealth rather than a medium of exchange. So demand for money is according to the choice determined behavior of the people, okay, and on the basis of like current interest rate, wealth owned by individual, expectation of future prices and future rate of interest. So according to Cambridge cash balance approach, individual demand for cash balance is proportional to the nominal income, that is MD is equal to KPY. Okay, Y here is the real national income, average price level of currently produced goods is P, and K is the proportion of nominal income that people want to hold as a cash. Then came the Keynes theory, that is liquidity preference theory, and which is relevant to the today's time, and it's a very, very important theory. And liquidity preference means the demand for money to hold or desire of the people to hold cash. Why do we demand money? Why do we hold money as a cash, or why do we need money? Okay, so the desire for liquidity arises because of three motives, because Keynes named it as a motives for demand for money. So one is the transaction motive, another is the precautionary motive, and the third is the speculative motive. Now if we talk about transaction motive, then you know that why do we demand money? Okay, but for the current transaction of individuals and business firms, we need money for day-to-day transaction, we need to buy goods, so we demand money. So first motive according to Keynes is the transaction motive, because we need to make transaction, we want to buy goods, we want to purchase goods, so therefore we need money, we hold money. So individuals hold cash in order to bridge the interval between the receipt of money and its expenditure. So how much we demand for transactionary purpose depends upon mainly on the level of income, because more the income you can demand more for transaction purpose. It also depends upon the level of wealth you have, because more wealth you have, more you can spend on the transaction purpose. And it depends upon the nature of demand that you have. More demand means more money you will demand. Okay, more goods you demand, more money you will demand. So transaction demand for money depends upon various factors, but according to Keynes, the main factor is the income there, because you can adjust your demand for goods according to the income that you have. Okay, so there is direct relationship between the demand for money for transaction purpose and the level of income, and the graph will be upward sloping, because more the income, more money you can demand for transactionary purpose. Second is the precautionary motive. So desire for people to hold cash balance for unforeseen contingencies. Why precaution? Because you know that future is uncertain. Okay, you don't know what will happen tomorrow. So therefore, for unforeseen contingencies like sickness, accident, marriage, unemployment, okay, we need to keep some money for precaution purpose to meet these unforeseen contingencies, and therefore we demand money, okay, for precautionary purpose. You know that, like suppose for example, you are going for the college or for the school, and for going college, suppose you need for travel expenses, you need money for some, you know, snacks and all, but you total demand that you have is of 100 rupees suppose, but still you will carry 500, 600, 1000 rupees with you every day. Why we are carrying more money than what is required? As a precautionary motive, because you never know when you will need more money. Okay, because there may be any unforeseen contingencies arise and immediately you need some extra money. So that is known as precautionary motive. So it depends upon the psychology of the individual and the conditions in which they live, that how much money they will demand for precautionary purpose. So the money held in both the motives are mainly the functions of the size of the income. As I said, it depends upon the level of income. So demand for money for transaction purpose and precautionary purpose are the direct function of level of income. More the income, more will be the demand. So in this, M1 is equal to L1Y. So Y here is the level of income, L is the function, demand function, and M1 is the money demanded for transactionary and precautionary purpose. Another purpose for which we demand money is the speculative. Okay, speculative motive for the demand for money. So that means desire to hold, you know, one resources in liquid form in order to take advantage of the market movements regarding the future changes in the rate of interest. So mainly the speculative demand for money is the money demand for making money in future or for earning money. Okay, so because there are changes in the market, that may be like for investing in the bonds, because when Keynes developed this theory, the main assets in which people used to, you know, invest, or he has taken the example of bonds. So there are fluctuations in the rate of interest, there are fluctuations in the return on these bonds. So for that, to take the advantage of these fluctuations, okay, people used to hold money, and that type of demand for money is known as the speculative demand for money. So the cash is used to make speculative gains by dealing in bonds, okay, where prices fluctuate. That is, less money will be held under speculative motive at a higher current rate of interest. So if already the current rate of interest is high, so they expect that yes, in future they may not earn more, so they will have less money held with them under these circumstances. But on the other hand, more money will be held under this motive as a lower rate of interest, because they expect that in future, you know, rate of interest may increase, or they may invest at that time and they can earn more. Okay, so therefore it depends upon the rate of interest, prices of bonds, and all of us know, like now also in the share market, if you expect that the price of share will increase in future, so you may buy more shares today, okay, just to earn more profit by selling them at the higher price. So all this type of demand is known as the speculative demand. So speculative demand for money is a function of rate of interest, okay, it depends upon the rate of interest. So M2 is equal to L2R, means R is the rate of interest, L2 is the demand function for speculative motive, and M2 is the money demanded for speculative purpose. So this you can see this graph, that there is rate of interest and speculative demand for money are inversely related. Inversely related means if rate of interest is high at present, okay, so that speculative demand for money okay, will be less. If rate of interest is low, then speculative demand for money will be more. And if the rate of interest is minimum, that you can see, then there will be this liquidity trap. That means people will hold more money and they will wait for the economy to revive, because at that time the prices of bonds are at the peak and they don't expect that price will go further. So they will try to hold, that cash with them instead of investing in the market. So demand for money is a decreasing function of the rate of interest. High the rate of interest, lower the demand for money for speculative motive, and less money would be kept as a inactive balance and vice versa. So liquidity preference curves, become perfectly elastic at a very low rate of interest. So because very low rate of interest, because rate of interest and the price of the bonds are also inversely related. So if rate of interest is low, it means that the price of the bonds are at the peak, at the highest. So if price of bonds are at the higher level or at its peak, then investing in this market is not safe. Therefore people keep and they hold liquid assets with them, and therefore this line when become horizontal, okay, this is known as liquidity trap. Why? Because people are caught in the situation of liquidity trap. It means that they are holding cash with them, more cash with them, and they are not ready to invest. They are waiting for the right time, so that when market will starts growing, then only they will invest and they will earn more profit by investing this money there. So liquidity trap, you can say, it indicates the absolute liquidity preference of the people. So at low rate of interest, people will hold money as inactive balance, which is called a liquidity trap. So expansion of money supply gets trapped and cannot affect rate of interest and the level of investment. But however, demand for money does not depend so much upon the current rate of interest as on expectation about changes in the rate of interest. So aggregate demand for money, if you see, then you can see through this graph that because we have three motives for demand for money: transactionary motive, precautionary motive and speculative motive. So separately if you see, then if you just draw the curve in relation to the rate of interest, because transactionary demand for money, precautionary demand for money, they are the function of income. Okay, so they depends upon the level of income. They are not depending upon the rate of interest. So in this diagram, if you see the transactionary demand for money, precautionary demand for money, M1, M2, okay, then this is a vertical line. Why? Because there is no relation with rate of interest, okay, on this demand for money. But when you talk about speculative demand, then it is related to the rate of interest. It depends upon the rate of interest. So it's a downward sloping. And when we combine this transactionary demand, precautionary demand and speculative demand, then you will get this third curve, that is total demand for money. Okay, so that means that transactionary demand for money plus precautionary demand for money and plus speculative demand for money, and when you draw this in terms of the rate of interest, then this will be the slope, it will be downward sloping, okay, but not starting from initial point of y-axis, but with some distance with the y-axis. Okay, so that was the total demand for money. So when RBI wants to decide the rate of interest, then they will say what is the supply of money and what is the demand for money, and on the basis of demand for money and supply for money, the rate of interest is decided. So we will be discussing more in some other lectures about how rate of interest are decided. Okay, so in this we will be ending here only with the concept of demand for money and supply for money. So thank you so much, and I am sure you must have understood the basics of what is demand for money and what is supply for money, what are the components of supply for money and all. So thank you.